blessed week so far, blessed 2019. I want to thank you all for being patient with me. I am back in school, so there are times where I need to step away from all of my social media to focus on my schoolwork. So I thank you for being patient. Some of you have been on this journey with me of being transparent. This is way out of my comfort zone, but it has opened so many doors for me. It has, my relationship with God has grown more and more, is stronger than ever before. And I found that the stronger my relationship is with God, the more adversity I am facing. I'm facing a lot of adversity right now. I really am. And there are times where I wanted to quit. I just wanted everything to stop. I've cried many times, but think I thank God that He has allowed me to have this platform. And thank you for all the encouraging words to just keep moving forward. Many people are going to be blessed. I may not ever hear from them, but as long as I'm doing something that is pleasing unto God, that is helping someone else to hopefully find who God is, that's my ultimate goal. To help someone. My testimony is not for me, but for others. So, thank you all for just being with me on this journey. My next guest is Miss Cheryl Edwards. She'll be speaking on trusting God in the midst of adversity. Y'all will want to hear this. It's amazing. I know when I watched it, I was in the library studying, and I just started crying because, like, I understand. I've been through some of the things she's gone through, but I have to keep moving forward. So I pray that you all be blessed by this vlog. I love you all.
Hi, my name is Cheryl. I'm an old friend of Hope's, and I'm doing this video talking about persevering when faced with adversity. As you can see by my shirt, doctors in training. I just finished medical school. That time period was the most stressful, trying, growing period of my life, and it was a lot of adversity I had to overcome. Everything that life could throw at me, I feel like was. So I guess I'll start at the beginning, and I'll start off with my favorite scriptures, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And it's been my favorite for a while, but it was what I held on to through this time period. So I graduated from Florida A&M University in May of 2013. I started at Meharry Medical College in Nashville in June of 2013. I came in, I was one of the youngest in my class, came fresh out of college, did a personality test when I got to my school, and they were like, oh, you shouldn't have any issues. So I was very confident that it was just going to be a breeze. And I never had any trouble academically, besides organic chemistry. But I started out, and I think I had like a level playing field with everybody else. And then I learned how to study with people and all that, and then I feel like I got my footing. And when that happened, the following Sunday, November 3rd, 2013, my father died in a motorcycle accident. He was only 42 years old. Devastated is an understatement. That day, I felt like a part of me died with him. And it was a Sunday. I was in Nashville by myself. I'd only been here like 5 months. So I had to call my classmates, and they were amazing. They actually, came over. It was like 7 a.m. Came over, and somebody was sitting with me all day until I left that night. Um, but when you lose someone unexpectedly, especially someone that you're really close to, a parent, a best friend, a sibling, whoever, it hurts like nothing you can imagine. And I went home, went to his funeral, and I came back a week later because I was almost done my first semester in medical school and I refused to start over. So I came back. My classmates had handled everything for me. So when I came back, I had to basically jump back in, do some intense tutoring, and get ready for my next set of exams, which were actually my best set. For a while, I stopped going to church actually, because he died on a Sunday, so it was like every week it felt like a reminder, because like it's been another week and another week and another week, and I would just want to sit there and cry. And I did for a while. And eventually my classmates were like, hey, going to church, you can come with us. And I tried out a few churches, and then I found one that was a fit for a while. And it helped. Turning to God in hard times is what I've learned to do, because the comfort that he gives, the peace that he gives, is something that man can't. People can try to say all the right things, but it's just that supernatural power that God has to heal you. If you see me looking over, I have like little notes written down. So, but the last time I saw my dad was my white coat ceremony, and it kind of kept me going. Then that was my first year. So second year went by. We have 3 tests in medical school that you have to take and pass in order to get your degree. It's step 1, step 2 clinical knowledge, and step 2 clinical skills. Step 1 and step 2 clinical knowledge are both on the computer. Step 2 clinical skills is literally you're seeing fake patients. So my time came for me to take step 1. I'm going to back up for a second. It was, I think, the beginning of 2014. I went to church with my best friend, and her pastor, who I never met, Pastor Apostle Wayne Davis, I apologize. He walked by me and he told me I was going to pass on my board exams. And at the time, all I was thinking about were the things that we had to take at the end of the year at just my school. I wasn't thinking big picture. So when the extremely hard part of my journey started, I had to hold on to that word that was spoken to me before I knew I needed it. So I got ready to take step 1, and I think that was summer of 2015. I took it the first time, and I wasn't ready, but I had to take it. So, and I felt like mentally drained. I couldn't study anymore. So I was just like, I'm going to take it, see what happens. And I failed. So after that, I was like, okay, we got to buckle down, do what I got to do. I got to pass this thing. So I did tutoring. Like, if I wasn't in individual tutoring, I was in group tutoring. And it was like a daily thing. And I got to the point where I was passing, but not comfortably. And I had to sit for the test again, sat again for it, and I failed. So I was like, okay, here we go. And at that point, I didn't know what else to do. I was like, okay, why am I struggling with this when I'm doing everything that I can? And I studied again. I met with my tutors, and then I eventually took it a third time. And the third time I took it, I ended up getting put into a rotation, which is like the clinical part of school. And I wasn't supposed to be, for one. And the reason I wasn't supposed to be is because if you fail a third time at my school, you will lose your financial aid. And you probably guessed it, I failed a third time. So I lost my financial aid. mind you, during this time period, I had gone through, I think, 3 rotations. I was on my 3rd rotation. I hadn't failed any of them. I hadn't failed any classes in school, but this test was just giving me the hardest time. And I was also in a relationship that was not good. Um, Someone who couldn't and wouldn't love me, and I loved them. I loved him. And it got bad. It got unhealthy. Like emotionally for me, I just couldn't take it anymore. And also at the time, like I was flat broke, like no money at all. So I had no money, no financial aid. At the time, he and I were living together, and we lost our house. We were renting it, but we lost it, so I had nowhere to go. And I was still going to class, going to clinic every day like nothing was wrong. Only people that knew were the people that I was close to, because I didn't want to share what I was going through with everybody, because everybody's not positive. And that's one thing I learned going through this, is that when you're going through things, you can't tell everybody what you're going through. You need to tell somebody, because you don't need to go through it by yourself. God didn't make us as just one person. When he made Adam, he said he needed a helper, so he made Eve. And God, we go to church to congregate. God wants us to be in a community. He wants us to build each other up. He wants us to uplift each other. But you have to realize that not everybody is like that. Because I had classmates who talked about me behind my back. I don't know who. I didn't care to know who. I just knew the person that heard it defended me. And that was all that mattered to me, was that that person stood up for me in my absence. But it was devastating, because I reached a low that I didn't know I could reach. I did have family that would, was helping me out and all that stuff, but it was like I had to start literally all the way over. So, I ended up staying with a friend for a while. Another friend actually helped me to get a place on campus. And I tell y'all, God works. God works. I got my place in less than a month. Excuse me. I had somewhere to stay. And I can't explain it other than God, because getting a place on campus takes at least a semester. But he provides. So after this 3rd attempt, I was also up for dismissal from my school, because you have 3 tries for sure. The 4th one is up to a committee that you have to go to. And initially, I was sent to the dismissal committee. And I was prepared to fight for my dream, because I was like, until they slam every door in my face, I was like, I know I can do this. And I know God put this in my heart. Until they slam every door in my face, I'm not quitting. Until God tells me this isn't what I'm supposed to do, I'm not quitting. And went to the meeting, and I waited for hours, literally hours. And I was stressed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I was like, I'm tired, I'm hungry. I really just want to get this over with. And I went in the room, and they told me that they were going to send me backwards to another committee, a student evaluation committee, because I didn't get my due process. I'd never been to that committee, so they couldn't dismiss me without me having that meeting. And the crazy thing is, when I walked in that room, first off, the dean of academic affairs came out and told me. She told me, and I was like, okay. She said, they're gonna take you in there and tell you that they're sending you backwards. And she's like, you should celebrate. And then when I walked in the room, the doctor that was over the committee was a man that I worked with on the floor, on the rotation that I was on, and he knew me and knew that I was capable. And then another doctor that was in there was actually one of my patients in clinic during the same rotation. And I was just like, this is insane that I'm seeing these people right now. And they sent me backwards. I went in for the other committee meeting, and when I went for that one, I came like, dressed up, had my white coat on, makeup, everything. I was not going to play games with these people. And the lady from the tutoring center who I worked with for a while, she told me when I walked in the room she didn't recognize me. And at first I was like, maybe it's the way I'm carrying myself, because when I'm studying, I don't care what I look like. I don't care what I'm wearing. But like at the same time, I was just like, maybe it wasn't just me that they saw. Maybe that was God working through me that they saw. Because I sat down, told them my plan, told them what I've been doing, because I'd done everything that I was supposed to do. It was just I was struggling, but I was passing everything. And they told me, they asked me what I was going to do. I told them. And they told me, well, we want to give you another chance, but we have to send you to the dismissal committee because this is your fourth attempt. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. I came backwards just to be sent back forwards. So, a few days later, I got their decision, like, officially in a letter. And the lady in the tutoring center called me before they did and told me, she said, I never seen them have a unanimous decision like they did with you. And she said, they're going to give you another chance without you going to dismissal committee. And then I got the